Hey, girl. Hey. And welcome to our first episode, girl, of a podcast ever.
It's not.
It's not. But
No,
we
yeah,
we,
it's not.
we are finally getting together and recording our first episode of Where's Dorothy?
Yep. Yep.
Aren't you excited
I
that
am excited because I wanted to do Golden Girls, but you said that was too basic. So I'm excited that we at least get to do something that's Golden Girls adjacent.
I didn't say it was too basic. I said it was very basic.
So yeah, I was excited that we could at least do something that's at least adjacent to it,
Yeah.
you know? So yeah, I'm excited
So, and I was like, this is Hulu just decided to
to gift
throw this
us.
upon us.
What a
Um,
gift.
yeah,
And the
what
timing
a
of it couldn't have
gift!
been even better, right?
I
The timing of
know.
it.
Well, or worse, depending on how you look at it.
I mean, better for Hulu.
Better for Hulu, yeah. With Betty White's passing.
Yep.
Um, dear listeners, for those of you that don't know, uh, Golden Palace is a
Spin-off?
show that is a spin-off of Golden Girls. It involves three of the main cast characters, and then add Cheech Marin as the cook, Don Cheadle as the sort of head of
Manager?
house
Yeah.
manager, and an obnoxious kid as an obnoxious kid.
Because the 80s always had obnoxious kid actors.
They did. So at first I had to look him up because I actually when I went to um, Wake Forest University for a hot second,
Okay.
I was in class with the youngest kid from Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead.
Oh, wow.
He lost his virginity to Jodie Sweden.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
So yeah, there's according to him now please Jodie, do not come after me. I do not know for certain. This is according to him. He lost his virginity to you, and if he hears me, he won't remember me. So you know what, girl.
Are
And
you sure you won't? I mean, you're a pretty memorable person.
I was so high during that time. Um, and he didn't hang out very much with us. He had a very raspy voice. Like, oh, you're like this. He was almost a murderer in Murder She Wrote.
I was gonna say, was he the killer in Murder She Wrote?
Well,
As
maybe
soon as I was like, wait, hold on.
before we get into this, why don't you like tell our new listeners, because the new listeners may not know us from our other two podcasts, Mims and Maim Baking Sugar, which is a Designing Women podcast, or Mims and Maim You Slay Me, which is a Murder She Wrote podcast. So, Auntie Maim, why don't you tell our dear listeners about yourself?
Cool. Yes. So my name's Auntie Maim. I'm a drag performer, slash improv comic down here in Miami, Florida. I enjoy all things retro. I enjoy pop culture, and everything gay, which is why we do these podcasts very specifically about these super gay shows from our past.
Because we are real gay.
I've known my co-host, the divine Miss Mims, now for 30, 36 years.
35, 36, somewhere around there.
35 or 36 years. We've
Yeah.
been best friends since we were like little children.
Yes.
And somehow we both turned out as flaming homosexuals
Yeah.
and drag queens, both
Yeah.
of us, even though we came into those existences at different times.
That's right. And I am the divine Miss Mims. I am here in Raleigh, North Kakalaki.
Kakalaki.
I have been
That's
doing.
Carolina, for just in case people don't know that.
Yeah. We
North
call it
Carolina.
North Kakalaki. If you're in the know, you're in the know. I've been doing drag, or I did drag back in like the early or the mid aughts, or I guess 2010 was when I was really doing it. Had a stint at Flex for a while doing trailer park drag. I sort of fell out of it because staying up late and having a full-time job. By the way, dear listeners, this is not our full-time job. So
No.
having a 9 to 5 job and doing drag was a lot. So I semi retired. I every once in a while paint a face of my own. Every once in a while, um, I enjoy long walks on the beach, bad comedy. I do not like horror or roller coasters. Let's see here. I like all sorts of exotic, ethnic foods. Don't you hate it when people say that? Ethnic foods. Um,
What's your sign?
I'm a Taurus. I'm stubborn and strong and full of shit. And what's your sign, girl?
I'm a Capricorn, the one that no one cares about.
Yeah, that's it. When were you born? Like,
January 15th.
well, you didn't have to give the actual date. So let's see here. 9 months before January is, let's see here, 12, 13 minus 9 is 4. So you're an Easter baby.
Yay!
You're,
Celebrate the Lord coming back
oh my
by
Lord, your parents probably went to church, got filled with the Spirit, and then thought, I mean, Miss Mama Maim. I do apologize for that. I let it out her name. I do apologize.
it's just because she has the best name. It's just because her name's so
Let's.
perfect.
Oh goodness. Anyway, Mama Maim, I think it's hilarious that you had an Easter baby. I was born in April, so let's see here. That's what 12 plus 4, that's 16 minus 9. 16 minus 9 is what is 16 minus 9? Good Lord. 7, so I was a July 4th baby.
Happy Independence Day,
Happy
America.
Happy Independence Day.
Let's
Let
make
freedom
babies.
ring. Little Martinez McBride for you right there.
I love that. Thank you, Ms. McBride. Thank you for coming for our podcast. We appreciate it. We can't pay you, though. We're going to send you off with
Oh,
some thoughts and prayers. Thank you,
thoughts
honey.
and prayers. Thoughts and prayers. Dear listeners, we will go ahead and warn you that we are very liberal. We talk about sex. We talk about drugs. We talk about rock and roll.
Gay
We are
stuff.
gay
A lot of
stuff.
gay stuff.
We are drag queens. We are pro vaccination. So if you have a problem with that, please
Don't listen. Don't
just
listen,
just
girl.
go just go over to Joe Rogan. He'll be happy
Yep.
to have you on
We'll
his.
be happy to have you.
He will be happy
The, the
to
one
have you
man
listen.
single-handedly taking down Spotify.
That's
Thanks, Joe
exactly right.
Rogan.
I do have a controversial yet brave opinion on that.
Ooh, okay.
My controversial yet brave opinion is Spotify should not fire him unless he violates the contract of the user contract or whatever. However, if he's not violating the user contract, Spotify needs to update the user contract. So
Yeah.
it's twofold. It's a don't fire him, but change it to where you can fire him.
I mean, no matter what, it is literally the single most popular podcast in the world on their
Yes.
platform.
Yes.
I mean, ugh. Yeah, I mean, I don't understand why, because I think he's gross, but whatever.
I never have listened to a single. I never liked him. Like I never thought he was interesting, and he was my least favorite part of news radio.
I was gonna
Um,
say he was the worst part of news radio.
yeah, like Phil Hartman
Mm,
and what's his name?
Dave
Dave, last name.
from Kids in the Hall.
Yeah, what's his last name?
Oh, oh gosh,
Yeah, there you
what
go.
is his last name?
Um,
I just remember his name on the show.
yeah,
Oh no.
he was divorced and like got reamed by his ex-wife. Like so much money owed, so much
I
money
mean,
owed.
it
Yeah,
could have been worse. It could have been what happened
yeah,
with Phil Hartman's wife.
yes. I mean, yes, that is very, very true.
It could have been worse.
I mean, good Lord, we went right for the jugular right there,
All right.
didn't we?
I was
It's
just
okay.
thinking when you said that, I was
It's
like,
okay. It's
perspective,
okay.
honey,
It's okay.
perspective.
Dear listeners, I promise you, we're not normally this glum, and
Are we glum?
gloomy.
We're
Yeah, I
not
said we
glum, are
aren't
we?
usually this glum. We aren't usually this glum.
Well, I mean, we just started talking about Rogan and just got us all
It's true.
blah.
Ugh,
So we should be
God.
talking about old ladies buying a hotel in Miami.
That is absolutely true. We should be talking about old ladies buying a hotel in Miami. Do you want to get started talking about old ladies buying a hotel in
I'm
Miami?
excited. Yes, I'm very
Okay, let
excited.
me pull up my notes. My notes are all digital now. For those of you that watch or listen to watch, why do I always say watch a podcast?
Because
For
we're
those,
old.
that's right. Those of you, well, I never said I watched the radio. Um, so those of you that listen to you slay me, you'll notice I still use paper for that one. The other podcasts I've moved digital on, not you slay me yet because I still watch it at work during my lunch and I still have paper there. I haven't taken my little electronic notebook with me to work yet because
Got it.
I actually go in to a place to work. Isn't that crazy?
That's wild to me. I haven't been to a place to
So
work in almost 3 years.
so you know what, Mame? I'd
Yes.
like to thank you for being a friend. And this is season 1, episode 1, pilot.
Thank you for being a friend. Travel down the road and back again. Your heart is true. You're a
So we start off not thank you for being a friend. No, not like that, but thank you for being a friend. I travel down the road and back again.
I felt triggered by the theme song now because it reminded me of my old ex and his parents that used to go beach dancing in Myrtle Beach.
Oh my god. So in retrospect of this theme song, we're going to talk about this theme song for a second because it is a travesty what they did to this. Why didn't they do a salsa version? Like they're in Miami. They're in Miami. It's a new hotel. Do a salsa version of the song, right?
I personally thought that's what I thought immediately. I was like,
Or a
why would they
Cubano version.
lean more into this?
Yeah, like
Like,
like
could you imagine just for one moment if when this show first got started, we heard the divine Gloria Estefan and the Miami Sound
I
Machine
was
do
just
this theme
thinking of
song?
that. Oh God.
Oh
Was
my
she was she
goodness.
would this be the time that was just Gloria Estefan? Was it Miami Sound Machine? Heat
I
Machine.
mean,
Sound
it
Machine?
was
Heat
no,
Machine.
this was Gloria Estefan time, but
Okay.
I mean, she still played with them occasionally because remember her husband was in Miami Sound Machine as
That's
well.
right.
So
That's right. Was this before or after the bus accident?
this was before.
Okay. 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 My. Yes. Oh, yes. Oh.
I'm sorry, audience, that you had to hear that just now. That
Dear
was
listeners,
Mims having a stroke.
dear listeners, I love a little bit of Gloria Estefan and Turn the Beat
A
Around.
little bit,
Turn the Beat
girl.
Around rocked my damn world. And then
Girl,
that one with all
that was
the.
your exposure song. That was your exposure
Oh, no, that
song.
wasn't Turn the Beat Around. That was the other one. That was, oh, God, what was the one with all the drag queens in it?
Everlasting Love.
Everlasting Love.
I would say both of those were
Oh,
your exposure songs. Technically,
God.
that little moment of Gloria Estefan was your entire exposure. We
That's
all have
true.
exposure moments, right?
That's
Mine was
true.
Marilyn Monroe, Diamonds Are a Girl's Best Friend, performing that at age 7.
God. And I don't think I ever performed either one of those songs when I did drag.
What?
I know. It's because they are very long.
I do Diamonds Are a Girl's Best Friend at karaoke all the time. That's one of my tipping songs. I do that one a lot.
Well, karaoke's one thing. Performing something in drag, it should not be beyond, I have a controversial yet brave opinion,
Oh, jeez.
beyond 3 minutes, 30 seconds long.
Whoa. Then you would never book me. 'Cause
Why would
da-
you do anything longer?
down here, almost everybody does like 4 or 5 minute songs.
Yeah, yeah. You know why? Because you're selfish. Get those bitches off the stage and move on to the next one as fast as possible. The more bitches, the better rotation. You can have 3 songs to just 2.
Well, technically, I do a lot more of the conceptual drag art shows here, so it's not the same as like a standard.
I've seen conceptual shit done in 2 minutes, 30 seconds. You can get it done. You just have to have a better concept. Oh,
Ooh,
That was a burn. I apologize
That
for
was
that.
such a burn. That was
That was
uncalled
mean.
for.
I apologize for that.
Wow.
There's a witch somewhere on fire is what's happened right there. I
Wow,
do
what just
apologize.
happened?
That was much. So we're in their old home.
It's empty.
It's empty and it's being sold.
Ugh, I hate it.
And there are lots of buff men moving things out.
Very tall men too. I guess they wanted to make sure
Tall
they
and
they stuck out.
buff. Yeah, and there's lots of jokes. There's lots of jokes going on, and there's reminiscing about the dear listeners. I watched this thing the first time like 3 weeks ago, the second time about 3 weeks ago, and I did not rewatch it. I apologize. There's only so many times I can watch episodes of this, so it may be a little lacking in the
You
memory.
basically just told the audience that we were supposed to record this 3 weeks ago.
Oh yeah, dear listeners, we are
Stuff kept coming up.
yeah, and we
Life.
and yeah, we didn't want to, so not because of y'all, but because of us.
Yep. It's
So
not you. It's us.
There's a lot of reminiscing about.
I was a little upset because, I guess because we were spoiled by that time period that I thought the reminiscing would be accompanied by actual like clips.
Yeah.
And I was kind of like, this is not as effective when they just talk about it.
Well, I wonder if B. Arthur said, "No, I am done. You can't use a single film, like a single shot with me."
She wouldn't do that, would she? Actually, I take
Maybe.
that back. I think
Like,
she might. Yeah. she
So
might.
interesting story. Star Trek Deep Space Nine. Okay.
Okay.
There's a character. Can I ruin something for you if you haven't watched it?
Sure.
Are you sure?
Yes.
So one of the main characters, Jadzia Dax, okay,
Yes.
dies.
I think
It,
I've
like-
gotten to that already.
It's
I'm
in
not
like
mistaken.
it's like toward the end. It's like season 5, season 6.
Oh wait, maybe I haven't. She
Um,
almost dies a couple of times.
She almost dies a couple times, but she dies, and it is she did not renew her contract. Rick Berman was an asshole to her, right? Very sexist asshole to her.
Okay.
She moved on to Becker for a couple seasons after that.
Okay.
But she did not renew her contract, but she did make sure in her contract that she had the rights to her image. So at the very end, when they're doing the retrospect, they cannot show her dying. They can't show a single thing that involves her. They just have because she's a trill. She like the character keeps going in a different body.
Right.
But images of her not shown.
Oh,
It
that's
is the
interesting.
most, and they wouldn't pay the money to put it in because
What a boss move.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was. So we found out that Blanche is making some jokes and is very progressive about who she slept with, like an Indian rights activist. I remember
was-
that.
That was really this moment did not age well.
No, it did not. I don't think it was good at the time, probably. And Rose just can't leave. She can't leave. Betty White can't leave. She just cannot leave.
It was my
She's-
favorite part.
She's having a panic attack. And she's like, we put all this money into this hotel that we just bought. What if it falls apart? They don't know how to run a hotel. They just know how to run a house, whatever that means. And then they all get carried out on a couch.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, that's the last time we ever see their lovely, wonderful house.
That was a nice little bow. I thought, well, at the very end with
Yeah.
them being carried out, I thought that was a nice little bow.
It was
Such a
nice.
old Hollywood bow,
Yes.
like that's not something that would happen in modern
No,
anything.
no. Oh, Rue McClanahan. I love Rue McClanahan. I
Mhm.
love Betty White. I love Estelle Getty. I love all three of them. Why did you say yes to this?
I mean, it's not. I mean, Golden Girls. I think it wasn't even like that. It wasn't like super down in the ratings. It was just. I mean, it was just. I think
B.
just B.
Arthur was
Arthur wanted to
done.
go.
Yeah.
She just
She
wanted to
was
go.
done.
So it makes sense.
Matt Baum, I believe that's his name, did a very interesting YouTube thing about Golden Girls. I highly suggest it.
Mhm.
I highly suggest you guys go out and watch it. It talks about the gay stuff and how Golden Girls was so important to the gay community and that sort of thing. Highly suggest you go out and watch it. Okay, just
Oh,
throwing that out there.
I thought you were gonna say something funny.
No. There's nothing funny in this show.
Oh no!
I don't mean our show. I mean Golden Palace.
I got you. No, I understand now. I get it.
So now we meet Oliver and Roland. Oliver is the annoying kid. Don Cheadle is Roland. And we find out that Roland is Oliver's foster parent, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which I think is a very good dynamic.
I like it, the dynamic. Yeah.
I think it's very interesting because it's actually very progressive because it puts a black man as the single father for a
White
Latino child.
No, he's just white, dear.
He's just white. Okay, he's just white. I didn't know if they were trying to play him be Latino. You never know.
No, he's just white.
He's just white. And I find it very interesting. Oliver's like, well, what if the new owners don't like you and they kick us out? We'll be out on the street. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. And Roland's like, we won't be out on the street. And even if we are, we will figure it out. Right? It's very sweet.
It's very sweet. It was unusual. You're right. It was a little bit strange.
Yeah.
That you're like,
It's
what?
a little bit funny.
Oh Lord.
Yeah.
Is that it? Oh
Yeah,
man.
that's well, because the next time's that feeling inside, and that doesn't sound right talking about a child. So Blanche, Rose, and Sophia enter. There's a little back and forth with Roland and Blanche about who they are and all this kind of stuff, and Roland finds out they're the new owners.
I like how you were waving your arms just now. You're like feigning excitement.
Yeah, they're the new owners. Yay! Only 23 more episodes after this one. Dear listeners, we have talked about finding other 1 to 2 season TV shows to watch after this. We'll see if we can come up with something else after this. But if you guys have any suggestions, I do send us a tweet at Where's Dorothy, and let us know. Oh, also, dear listeners, I forgot to plug. We have a Patreon.
Sort of.
It's going to be patreon.com/Where's Mims and Maim. It hasn't been made yet, but by the time this goes live, we'll have it.
Maybe we should just do like a centralized.
Well, see, I thought about that. I have another one called Mims and Maim, but people weren't going to that, so I thought it'd be easier just to do for each podcast. I'll go same account, y'all.
Are people going to the other ones?
No, they ain't going to nothing.
That's why I was like, maybe we just keep one. That way we just
Well,
keep
okay, whatever.
each
We
one of
can
them.
just keep one. We keep many. It doesn't really matter. We ain't gonna get none anyway.
We have to start offering exclusive.
Our Patreon has as many viewers as Golden Palace when it came out.
Jeez. Oh man. I kind of want to look up the Nielsen ratings. Oh my gosh, you remember being in Nielsen House? Remember you guys were in Nielsen House?
Yes.
I still like to throw that stat around to people. I'm like, my best friend was a Nielsen fan.
Yes,
Like, people are like, what?
Just for like a year. Just for like a year.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't
It's
matter.
clout.
No.
It's clout.
I know. What was the weird TV show that was on later at night in the 80s that was like it was a woman who was kind of in her own head and
was it the Molly Brown show? What's her name? Molly Dodd or Molly?
Yeah, that sounds right. I just
It was
remember
a very different type of. It was a very different type of show.
Yeah. I just remember like Tomato was a scene in it. For some reason, I'm getting a scene, and like they broke out into the Tomato song.
Yeah,
but like
the
things that were happening weren't really happening.
Yeah.
It was very weird. It was very, very, very. She was having a constant breakdown throughout the entire show, much like this show was having a breakdown. So we find out that Roland does everything.
Literally everything.
Literally everything in this hotel. And there's a back and forth with Blanche about the hotels, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
well, do you do this? No, do you do this? No, this. And she's like, well, what's going on? There's no money here, that sort of thing. Yeah. So
It's really bad. Like, there's no money, there's no staff. There's
right,
like essentially, even though the show is trying to be comical, Blanche actually just got taken
right,
extremely advantage
right.
of.
It was the 80s, 90s at this point.
Early 90s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we find out that 20 travel agents are coming in. So Sophia goes to the kitchen to see what kind of state that's in. Rose goes to the housekeepers, and Blanche goes to the hotel office.
Mm-hmm.
So
They break. It's like
Yeah.
a football game.
they break. Huh. Oliver introduces himself to Blanche. And like he's like,
Such
my
a
mom
strange
split,
introduction.
my dad's in prison, and then Oliver tries flirting with her.
It's really weird that Oliver didn't start by saying, "Hi, I'm Oliver,
Yeah.
Roland's adopted kid."
Yeah, no, he's like, I do stuff around here. Child labor's fun. Yeah.
I can get you towel. I can do towels. I do towels by the pool.
God.
What? What's happening?
What? Just like what? Ugh.
I made it because I feel. I mean, mind you, I feel like Roland probably should have like proactively said, "Oh, me and my adopted kid are living here."
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
you know, I guess that didn't come up.
Are you familiar? This all rings to something very interesting that happened around the South around this time too.
Okay.
Like between the 80s, 70s, 80s, and 90s. Are you familiar with Patel hotels?
Patel hotels. No.
Patel hotels. So, Indians would move over here to the rural South,
Okay.
open hotel chains like Holiday Inns and lesser,
Okay.
live at the hotel, and like basically be a hotel for the community.
Oh.
Yeah, I heard about NPR a while ago. I never actually knew it was a thing until I stayed at one in it was a Microtel or something in, oh God, what's that horrible city that's Clinton, North Carolina.
Not Clinton, Ernie. Not Clinton.
Girl, right out back there was a pork processing plant.
Well, could you imagine the smell there?
Yeah, I can. I can
Oh,
because I
that's
was
true.
there.
Sorry. I forgot. Well, oh. That's the one thing as a child you always remember is like driving through towns with meat processing facilities.
Oh
Like
yeah.
you never forgot those things.
No, you don't. So we go into the kitchen
Oh
and we
boy.
meet Chuy Castillas, who is played
Comedy
by
icon. Comedy icon.
Cheech Marin. Is he actually a comedy icon?
Yes.
Okay.
Cheech and Chong are considered iconic. What are you talking about?
Well, no, I meant what is he most known for? Is he most known for that or Miami Vice?
mean, No. I mean,
Hawaii Five-O,
technic-
Hawaii Five-O, Hawaii Five-O.
I mean, technically, Cheech, like, he basically, I mean, of the two of them, he's the one that kept up the comedic acting the whole
That's
time.
true. That's true.
Like,
That's true.
Tommy kind of like just smoked a lot and just kept
Yeah,
finding
he
himself
wasn't-
in the middle of the
Yeah.
wilderness.
Yeah, that's great. So there's some sexism about Mexicans.
Yeah.
Sexism. Racism about
Racism.
Mexicans. God. Racism about Mexicans. About angry Mexicans. There we go. And Sophia's like, in my kitchen, we cook Italian. And then there's applause.
Yes. I
From-
mean,
from
there
the-
was like
from the-
major applause,
There
which was kind of racist.
Kind of. Kind of. Kind of.
I mean,
Kind of.
it was
Kind
really
of.
weird because I thought to myself just for a split second, I was like, this is uncomfortable.
Yeah. So Chewy walks out.
As you would.
Yeah. I mean,
would.
right? Like you just told me we're cooking Italian here, and you're not even Italian, Mrs. Stelghetti. So what's going on?
Now, what was really strange to me, obviously, much like our Gloria Estefan comment earlier in the
Uh-huh.
broadcast, is you're on Miami Beach.
Uh-huh.
You're in the Latin capital of the United
Uh-huh.
States, and the chief culture there is Cuban.
Oh, and not only
So,
that, you are in one of the famous Art Deco hotels too, right?
yes, yes,
Like you
so
are you are
of
close to Little Havana.
of all of the food options to pick, why would they even have Mexican as the main
I
food
don't know.
or Italian food? Because
I don't know. I could see it being like a 19 like I could see it be the better joke to me. The better joke is if he is a up and coming Mexican chef who
Mhm.
does 1920s Americana steakhouse.
Oh, that would be a funny joke. I would like
Like,
that.
what do you like? Sophia's like, well, get your tortillas out of my kitchen. I mean, no, that's a little racist, but compared to what
But
it
like
is,
if
it's less
but if
racist than
Sophia
what we've
came
gone
in
through.
right, if like Sophia had come into the kitchen kind of being like low-key grandma racist,
Yeah,
and he's like, I don't even cook that.
yeah.
That would have been a great
Like,
joke.
or like, what's this salsa? Well, it's my gravy for the mashed potatoes, right? Like,
Mm.
and then her saying, "In my kitchen we cook Italian," goes back to the New York like early 20th century cooking. That is a better joke. We just rewrote a better scene.
Now I want
And then
mashed
you
potatoes
aren't,
and gravy.
oh no, right. And then you aren't racist toward Mexicans. Like overly racist toward
Overtly
Mexicans.
racist. And
Overtly
you
racist.
and you studio audience, we're looking at
And
you as
you.
well.
And
And you.
you.
And I can't. No, I'm not going to.
Stop it. Stop it, because I could conceivably have a breakdown. Dear listeners, we also love Soap Dish. It is perhaps our
It's
most
perhaps,
influential.
perhaps.
It is our most influential uh movie.
It's our touchstone.
It's our touchstone. God. So Chewie walks out. We're in the office, and Blanche finds out just how screwed she really is.
Which is really
Really. And then there's another racist joke because Haitian law is different.
that was a bad time for that one too, because that's also the time when a lot of Haitians were trying to get to the country because they were
Oh
having a lot
yeah.
of problems.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. And we also find out that all the profits that the hotel has said the previous owners were fake. They just fired everybody, so they inflated the profits. Like they are hanging on a thread. They next page of notes. Um, the travel agents that are coming are going to make or break the hotel. So now we've got conflict, right?
Why are you laying it out like that? Now we've got conflict.
Oh God. What is this? What is this? Only kind of chain I was ever Oh God.
What are you?
So took me a minute to read my notes here.
Oh
But
boy.
so the previous owners also told Roland that the new owners used to run a hotel chain.
Yes.
To which Blanche said, "The only kind of chain I was ever part of, I'm not going to tell you about." That's the joke. That is the best joke of the entire episode.
I will say the Blanche jokes actually in this one were far dirty. Like they got dirty
Yeah, they did.
really like
Yeah, they did.
immediately.
Yeah,
It
they
wasn't
did.
even like the old like wink wink dirty. It was like just dirty.
So Blanche walks into the kitchen and's like, "Y'all, we have a problem." Sophia's like, "We're fucked."
Yes.
Rose says, "I wish Dorothy was here so she could beat the shit out of you, Blanche."
Yeah.
And Blanche is
See,
like,
I
"Well,
thought that was the funniest joke of
yes."
of the show.
I will say this about Betty White. You can tell that she's probably the one that has the most writing credit because she is the one who punched up her lines the best. Like
Mhm.
she
It's a different
she
Rose in this
yeah, yeah,
show.
yeah. Like
Like
she
from the immediately.
yes. Um Blanche is like, "Well, we'll just have to work." And Rose like, "I came here to retire. We're too old. I used to have a problem with OxyContin, which if you remember from Golden Girls, if it's a weird read that she was actually on painkillers for a very long time until
Yes.
like season 4, so that's why she was always so loopy. Dear listeners, it's a conspiracy theory about Golden Girls. Go look it up. I highly suggest it. Great
Yes.
show. Um, but we aren't reviewing Golden Girls. We're reviewing Golden Palace.
Yep, we had our chance and you said no.
Too much of a commitment, girl. Too much of a commitment.
We're doing Murder She Wrote.
Uh, that's why we couldn't do that.
Oh, well, I mean, actually, I'm actually preferring to do Murder She Wrote because it's far wackier than Golden
It is.
Girls.
It is. It is.
It
And
is
this-
actually a wackier, much wackier show than
And
Golden
I will
Girls.
say this next episode we're getting ready to review of Murder She Wrote was it's my favorite episode so far. It's got the fat man from Jake and the Fat Man, who at first glance I thought was Orson Welles, but that was like no, he would have been way too old for this. But the fat man doing a bad Russian accent, like, and you know that Jessica and he did it, like
Well,
they did.
can we
They
just
he,
not?
they had so much chemistry.
Yeah, I know, but let's
Anyway,
just-
well, that's dear listeners. That one comes out on Thursdays. You slay me. Go listen to it. Anyway,
back to our regularly scheduled programming.
the pool boy shows up,
Yes, he does.
and Blanche charms him by proving he's an idiot.
And we're supposed to think he's sexy.
Well, he was good for that time. No, he wasn't. He really wasn't.
First of all, if somebody says the word pool boy to me, I need him to not be in his 30s. I'm just saying.
And
I mean,
that, dear listeners,
I realized
is
that
the
if
most
he had,
true read of anything today.
I mean, I realized that
That is
if
a
he had been
Donna
an,
read.
if he'd been an actual, if he had been an actual pool boy, then yes, it
Uh-huh.
would have been creepy watching Blanche try to charm him. So I
Yep.
understand why. But if they had just called him the maintenance guy or something
Uh-huh.
like that, not the pool boy, y'all, come on.
So during all of this, Sophia is behind her, just going, tramp, slut, tramp.
She's not even trying hard anymore. She's not
No,
even
she's
being
not.
clever anymore.
No, she's not. She's just out, blunt, like, not subtle. Not subtle.
There's nothing. She's just being mean.
So later on, we're at the restaurant, and Sophia is cooking all the food, right?
Mm-hmm.
A pork chop gets sent back. Sophia turns it over, gives it back to him, and like, anytime you need something here, just tell him, I'm Sophia, I'm the chef, I got you, boo. She goes back in the kitchen, calls him a schmuck, and we move on from that. Lots of chuckles. Ha 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 ha.
she showed that fancy man.
She showed that fancy man. Look, I've had a dry pork chop. There's
has
no
Drag
saving
Race.
it. Like, what'd you say? Not Drag Race, girl. Not Drag. That pork chop ain't ever been dry. She has been liquored up every single time I have ever seen her. Oh, Lord. Pork chop, if you're listening and you quit drinking, I apologize for that comment, but every time I ever saw you, you were real drunk, girl.
Real drunk.
Real drunk.
Like she
Seen you
was
fall off the stage,
so
poor girl.
moist.
Seen you
She's so
fall off
moist.
the stage. Just right on off, and got back up in that little leotard you were wearing and
I
kept
saw
right on
somebody
dancing.
fall off a stage once. Who was it?
Was
that I
it
saw
me?
fall off
Because
a stage?
I wasn't drunk, but I
No.
probably did it.
No, it was Chichi LaRue. When Chichi LaRue was DJing down here, she fell off the stage and knocked all of her equipment off with her.
Jesus Christ.
I got that video somewhere. A long time ago.
You need to post that to Twitter.
You're right. I do actually. If I can find it,
Yeah,
I
there you
will.
go. There you go. So we're now it's now night, and apparently Rose is the night clerk too.
Yes.
Why didn't she take the daytime stuff and make Roland be the night clerk? Whatever. Rose is being robbed, and she's like, "Oh, why are you wearing a face mask? That's awful warm for Miami, blah, 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 blah. Oh, you want to put your gun in the safe? I have to call Roland to come down here. Da 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 da, and on a little bit." It's a very cute gag. Y'all
It's
watch
super
it.
cute. It went on too long, but it was cute.
The bad part of the gag is she makes a phone call. So I personally think the gag should have stopped when he ran away. She makes a phone call, and she's like,
Oh boy.
I'm not as stupid as people think I am. And she's like, he's going to the Ritz with a gun, and because the robber ran away, and she called 411 and not 911.
Which
Yeah.
I was just like, did you have to do that?
Yeah, like just let her have her moment and move on, right? Right. Hold on.
It's like we just have to keep them in their little boxes. Just have to. Can't let them have any growth. Maybe that's why Dorothy left, right? They can't ever have any growth. They just keep them in their one little pocket.
Exactly. Oh. So Chewie comes back in the door, and Estelle Getty, Sophia's like, "Dorothy, is that you?"
I love that joke so much.
I did like that joke. I did like that. Chewie wants his job back. Sophia's like, "Yes, as long as you flirt with me." So after dinner that night, we find out that they paid off all their debts.
Mm-hmm.
Blanche admits that it was good. Rose said she felt like she has a purpose. So does Sophia. They have a little toast to happiness, to life, to us. They start eating some cheesecake with everybody. There's a St. Olaf story, and Sophia and Blanche run.
So much winking at the audience.
Do 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 do.
Dear listeners, if you don't know this because this is your first exposure to Mims and Meme, that's the sign that we're done talking about the actual logistics of the episode.
That's absolutely right. That is the theme. That is the theme song for
Baking Sugar.
Baking Sugar. It's Designing Women, but it's George on My Mind. But only enough bars to where we don't run into any kind of thing.
Legal issues.
And I'm off key anyway, so nobody even knows what it is. So there we go.
That's true. Like the monitors won't even pick that up.
That's exactly right. So, girl, did you enjoy that episode?
It was a thing. I would say it was a thing. It was
It was a thing.
Well, so I enjoy these characters a lot, and I enjoy their banter. I enjoy their back and forth. But I will say that last moment with Betty White and the robber, like I literally for that moment said, "Wait, I think this is why B. Arthur left." Like it was very much like, why be challenged? Why challenge the character? Why have them evolve? Why do anything with them? Like just have them keep playing the exact same parts over and over again. And we know that B. Arthur is not from that school. So, Rue and Betty were both from they're old school. They'll do whatever. Like, cool, sitcom is going to call for this. I'll be the, like Sue Ellen was the same character the whole time on Mary Tyler Moore.
It's true.
So it's like, I kind of got it. I mean, it's fun in that way of like just seeing some newer kinds of jokes, but it was fine. It was fine for like a starter episode.
It was a better pilot than Designing Women.
Oh, girl.
I'll give it that.
Girl.
But it was the jokes were trying to be slightly different, but they weren't different enough. And they like the premise, like it pieces didn't make sense, right? Like it was, they tried, but it didn't quite make sense together.
Yeah.
Right? Like Why don't they show the girls' living quarters? Why like why are you in why have Chewie leave? Right? Except for a racism. Why have that much conflict there? Why not the conflict just be the whole team has to band together to get the travel agents to stay?
I would have loved to have seen Chewie and Sophia in the kitchen at the same time fighting it
Yes.
out for dinner service.
Yes. Well,
That would have been amazing.
this one wants the tacos. This one wants the lasagna. This. Or again, going back to my like New York thing,
Hmm.
this one wants the steak and potatoes. This one wants the lasagna. Oh, we can make it like a New York themed
Yeah,
restaurant, and then you bring in a New York jazz band and just do that. Like,
something.
oh
Just
God,
something.
something,
But,
something.
it is what it is. I mean, it definitely. I think for me, I think the thing that was the most disappointing part
Mm-hmm.
is that considering that this was a spin-off,
Yeah,
this felt too much like a pilot,
it's true.
right?
It's true.
Spin-offs are supposed to feel like, cool, we're just spinning, like literally, like
Yep.
let's just follow these characters now.
Like Frasier,
Right,
right?
like Frasier, right? Like
Yeah.
let's just follow them. But like this was just like it was like starting over again.
Yeah.
Even for them, it felt like they were starting over again, kind of like, Sophia. The Sophia thing with like Blanche, like her just kind of like saying slut, boom.
Mhm.
I'm like, it's like your insults had gotten so much more clever
Yes.
over the
And
course of the show.
but I will say this: I have eaten at that Sheridan restaurant in Myrtle Beach before. It was designed like a Sheridan from the mid '90s, and oh god, like the decor on the inside doesn't even feel like one of those hotels.
No, that's
Like
not what they look like.
CBS or NBC, whoever's like lot this is, what you should have spent just a little more money on it, right? Just
Yeah.
you had all that Golden Girls money, just spend it a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
especially then, like, I mean, I know this now just from living here, but like that time period,
uh huh.
that was like peak Miami time. So like it wasn't like homely. Like that's
Yep,
when like Miami was like really
my
rolling and
Miami.
right. Like so yeah. But hopefully it will get funnier as time progresses.
I
Um
mean, and then it'll be over. That's the best thing about these one seasoners. They get better or they don't, and then they're done.
that's true.
Right? Like, it doesn't have to get better because there's only going to be 24 episodes of it. I mean, dear listeners, I say all this. I did not enjoy this, right?
No, I
Like,
thought it was
didn't.
fine. It was just
It was completely fine. Would I watch it again?
no,
Probably not.
absolutely
But
not.
did I mind watching it? A little. But but
The
that's mostly
second
because it was a
time.
pilot. That's mostly
Yeah.
because it was a pilot.
Like I
Pilots
said,
often
it's
suck.
purely for me. Like it really was just I think that is so, especially if listeners are younger than us, right? They're not gonna understand, especially like how prolific spinoffs used to
Mhm.
be, and
Yep.
so most of them don't get this whole thing about like we're just gonna pick up where we left off and just continue on
Mhm.
like down this road and like.
Yep.
So back then, spinoffs used to really be like event television. Like it was a big deal if a new show started and it
Yeah.
was based on characters that you already loved
Mhm.
and now you just got to see another facet of their lives. But
Mhm.
this was not a spinoff. This was literally like we're starting over again. So I think that was part of the problem with this particular episode. It was just like, guys, come on,
Yeah.
just pick up where you left off.
Well, Mame, why don't you tell our
Yes.
dear listeners where they can find you?
Sure. If you would like, if you want to find me online, send me hate mail because you really loved Golden Palace. You can find me at auntie.maim. That's Maim. You can find me and that's on Instagram and Facebook. On Twitter, I'm known as Maim's Ministry. And then if you want to meet me in real life, find me here in Miami. Strangely enough, I perform at the Villain Theater in Miami. It's an improv comedy theater, and I perform every Thursday night. I host a karaoke show called Amazing Colossal Karaoke, where I do some singing and I do some dancing and I do some joke telling and blah 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 blah. It's a Kiki. What about you, Miss Mims?
I am the Divine Miss Mims. You can find me at Divine Miss Mims on Twitter. You can find this podcast at Where's Dorothy on Twitter. Send us a note. We do have a Patreon. We'll figure out what it's called at that point. The link will be in our bio. I'm leaning toward Where's Mims Maim. I think it's cute. I think it's funny.
Cute.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be patreon.com/Where's Mims Maim.
Okay.
I think that's really it for today, y'all. I will figure some more things out. I have a deck of Golden Girl tarot cards that after the pilot we will start using to see if the next episode's going to be better. The reason I didn't do it for this one is because the next one will be better than this one. I have full confidence that the next episode will be better than a pilot. That's why I did not do that for this.
It's all based on confidence.
That's all based on confidence, y'all. Anyway, Maim, I think we've done enough of this. Say goodnight, Maim.
Good night, Maim.
Bye, y'all.